Ask everyone to rise as we do the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you once again for this day, just allowing us to gather. Lord, I pray for our town. I pray for our leaders. I pray for our first responders and our police and our fire and our EMS. And Lord, I just pray, Father, we bring glory to you in all that we do here tonight. And Father, that you would just continue to bless our town and our country. And Lord, that we give you praise for it all. We ask this all in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Well, good evening to everyone. Welcome. Have a nice group this evening. Thank you all for joining us. And at this time, will the clerk call roll, please?
Mr. McDaniel?
Here.
Ms. Pogue? Ms. McGee? Here. Mr. Sherrill?
Here.
Mr. Kathy?
Here. This is the public comment time. This is anything that's not on the posted agenda. You may address the board at this time. Hearing none, we'll move down to the consent agenda. Approval of minutes from November 17th, approval of the city manager's report, approval of blanket purchase orders for the month of December 2025, and approval of purchase of a 26 Kenworth T88 880 dump truck for $188,546.23. Do any of these items need to be removed from the consent agenda and moved to the business agenda?
The city manager's report.
Okay. Do we need to discuss the truck, Danny?
It's up to y'all.
Anybody need to discuss the truck?
Do we want to discuss it now?
Well, we have to move it to the business
Okay.
agenda to do that. We have representatives here, so,
Let's move it to the
okay.
business agenda.
All right. We will move the city manager's report and the truck purchase to the public agenda. Other than that, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill?
Yes.
Mr. Kathy?
Yes. As we move down to the business agenda, item number 1, approval of the city manager's report. Mr. Delay, good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My report's on attachment number 2. You got any questions?
Yeah, I was just curious. I saw where they were tearing down the houses and stuff for Froms. Is there an estimated date, time, or?
I haven't got a clear-cut date. Now, he did write me a support letter for the tower that we're trying to get on the EDA grant, and he expected to have, it was 45 employees by third quarter of next year. So that would put us, after July. Yeah.
Okay. And got a lot of comments about the DOT light, the caution light, the yellow light there. I didn't really even notice it. I was just sitting there one day, the yellow light,
Do
how the,
you know anything, Gene?
I mean, it does.
Are you talking about the new?
Yeah, the new.
Yeah, so
you
it's,
can turn.
yeah, so with the upgrades to the signals, the 13th Street and the Court Street
Yeah.
exit signals have been, the permissive blinking yellow
Yeah,
left
yeah.
turn
Yeah.
signal
Yeah.
has been added. It's been that way at the Redbud light.
Yeah, at the Redbud
And
light,
that's
it's been
what
like
part of this
that.
upgrade was, that DOT
Yeah,
did, was,
just been getting a lot of comments. It's about time that, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
but
just takes money.
Yeah.
So,
That's all it takes.
yeah.
I do have a question regarding that, though. The new light on the southwest corner there, flashing.
Yes.
Is it gonna be repaired?
They're there's 2 actually that
Is there
are
2?
inoperable, not operating properly, so they're gonna have to come back and correct
Okay.
those lights.
And then, and maybe this is just a law and I'm unaware of it, but we've got a stop sign in the sweep, the right-hand sweep. We've got a stop sign or we got a red light and a yield sign. Is that? what's
Really, they are a little confusing the way they've got those side-mounted poles, the lights. What they're supposed to be, my understanding, is the visibility, say that trucks or something have your visibility of the lights obscured.
Okay.
It's to give you the condition of what that light would be.
Okay,
So you'd still actually just yield through that. I
Okay.
mean, you may, because it's showing you what your through light would be on
Sure.
it. Now, they don't have the ones at Court Street operational yet. Really gonna see how them work because of the way they have them positioned. But, I'm not sure when they'll get them phased in.
Okay.
But
I was just curious, had some questions about it, so thank you.
Any other questions about the city manager's report?
You have anything there? I recommend approving.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sherrill?
Yes.
Ms. Pogue?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Mr. Kathy?
Yes. All right. Next on the agenda is approval of purchase for 2026 Kenworth T880 dump truck in the amount of $188,546.23.
This, Bobby, you wanna come up? Talk a little bit about what we got. Right now, we've got a 2003 Peterbilt that is in fair shape, and we have a 2007 International that's been in the shop for a few months.
Yes.
And so we have been saving up to replace or get a dependable one for some time, and we're at that point now. And we've been able to find this one on Sourcewell contract. Kyle, I don't remember your last name, I'm sorry, but he has brought one over tonight to show us.
The international dump truck, it's constantly have to put money into it. Right now, I've got it at K&B, it's been out there for a while, it's been down for about 7 months now. So we only actually have one dump truck, and it's a 2003 Peterbilt. But we're just steadily throwing money into it, so we're trying to.
We're kind of band-aiding it to keep it
Yes.
going right now, so.
Now, this International, we've had issues with it almost since we bought it, correct?
Correct.
Grounding
Since it's been
issues and-
new, it's had problems.
Okay.
It's in and out of the shop, it's a money pit is what it is. And we're just trying to upgrade it. The Peterbilt, it's still decent truck, it's, but it needs to be replaced soon also.
It's fixing to be 23 years old, so.
Correct. Kyle, he brought up 2026 KW down.
I hope y'all all got to see it sitting out front,
Yeah, I did.
pulled in.
Yeah.
Very nice truck.
So we went test drove it a while ago. It's got a lot of power, 510 horsepower. 6-speed automatic transmission. There ain't no standards no more. I mean, you can get it in standard, but the automatic's a lot better.
What are we hauling?
Talk about the truck a little bit, huh?
What are we hauling?
Hauling, anything.
That's
from
why we go get a load of
3 to-
asphalt to come,
Okay.
repair streets and stuff, that's what we take.
Or
Okay.
gravel to backfill ditches
Yeah.
and
There's
haul
times we have
materials
to go
off
all
and
the way to
digging and
Poto.
replacing lines, those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's times we have to drive all the way to Poto to get asphalt.
Okay.
So, I mean, our trucks, I don't recommend them going there. So it's costing us, for them to deliver it to us. If we had something like this right here, it's not costing us extra $1,500 to $2,000
Per-
to,
Per trip.
Okay.
per trip to get asphalt. Anything you want to say on the truck?
On the truck side, all I'll say is, not only is, I work for Kenworth, but the dump body itself is manufactured by us. So if there's ever any issues with the truck or the bed itself, we're a one-stop shop, we handle it. So we're based out of Ardmore, we have mobile technicians, so we can work hand in hand with the city on making sure that there's no issue with the equipment.
It's very nice because
That's what I
We are
also
working
like about this.
24 hours a day, plus we do have our mobile technicians. The automatic is great, as a lot of the older drivers are phasing out, a lot of the newer drivers coming into the industry, when they get their CDLs, they're unable to drive a manual, so the automatic kind of opens it up to any and everybody as far as driving.
well, it also is very nice having the dump body at the same location, not have to take the truck to two different locations to have things
Like you said,
serviced.
he's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anytime we have any problems like that, we can call him.
And to be that close to us
Yeah.
is,
Is that an added addition, or does that goes with the?
That's with it,
Goes with it.
it's all, it's one-stop shop, it's one
Okay.
invoice, it's us, so.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions, I recommend approving.
Okay, have a motion on the floor to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Pogue?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill?
Yes.
Mr. Kathy?
Yes. Gentlemen, thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you for bringing it down.
thank you, Kyle.
All right. Next item on the agenda is invitation by fire chief to council members for annual Christmas party.
Did we do the number one?
Just wanted to invite all y'all to our annual fire department Christmas party. It will be December 20th at 6 PM at the community center. I'd like to see y'all all out there.
What day?
December 20th,
What day is that on?
it'll be on a Saturday.
Okay.
It'll be at 6 PM.
And you said that Travis and Bobby will be dressed up?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
we'll
correct?
get them dressed up with
Okay.
something, yeah.
Can I bring the baby?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Bring,
That'll be in the
bring your
minutes.
significant other, yeah.
Okay.
That'll be in the
I'll put
minutes,
on
it'll be
the-
dressed up.
City attorney, do we need to have a moment? Thank you.
Writing her a note right now.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Appreciate everything you guys do.
You're invited to.
Oh, thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
On your on-duty guys that can come out if they want.
Did we not read number one?
Well,
Yeah, that
number
was
one was
the
the two out of the
stuff
city
that came
manager's
down.
report. Removing items from the consent agenda was the city manager's report and the approval of the truck purchase. That's where those go when they come off consent agenda,
Okay,
over to
Yeah, that
item number one.
becomes item number one.
okay,
So when you're moving it down, it's just something new to get used to, Dan.
okay.
Okay, discussion and/or action on use and regulations of permanent or temporary modular buildings for commercially zoned properties. What do we, is there anything in our packet on this?
No, I think that's getting punted to me. That's, I've received numerous questions regarding this issue over the past few weeks, and I really think it's something that I just need to get, council guidance on about where we're going with the issue. Specifically, this kind of has all come about or resulted from an application by Inca Community Services to move a modular metal building onto their property. I've received calls from neighbors, city staff, asking about it. Some of the neighbors are concerned this may not be a good fit for the neighborhood. From a legal standpoint, our current codes does not have a prohibition on modular buildings in commercial areas. We prohibit modular buildings in residential areas, but we do not in commercial areas. And, you know, just, you don't have to look very far to see a few of them. You know, the doctor's office in front of the hospital is a modular building. There's a real estate office over here across the way that's a modular building. I think the donut shop's a modular building. So we've certainly have not prohibited that in the past. And so, you know, at the current standpoint from a legal perspective, if they're able to get fire marshal approval, it's going to be moved in there. But I need some guidance from the council as to where we need to go with the issue. So,
Brian, you mind if I? Okay, so we cannot get fire marshal approval because there is no building here. So I've been talking to JC about, back and forth about what we do, and he tells me, my last email said something about the, you know, we might have to have a sprinkler system or a fire alarm thing. And I said, okay, are you telling me I have to have this before? And he's just like, no, you can't, I can't tell you anything until the building's there. So of course I circle back to Tim and Danny and say, okay, what's the rule? Because I can't move the building in without JC's approval, but I can't get JC's approval without a building here.
the issue, I think, for, and I have not been, I've just kind of briefly looked over some of the emails, but I think the issue is, in order to get fire marshal approval, they have to have a specific use of the building.
Correct.
That's
And
my understanding.
last time I had, and again, I haven't seen all the emails, but the last email I saw, the use of the building was maybe up in the air, or we didn't really know what we were
Okay.
gonna use it for.
So the problem that we have is that we have a plan of what we would like to do. And our RAY program is a disability program, and it helps disabled adults. So Christy and I had, Christy, she's just, you know, she's trying to find ways to help her clients. So she thought, okay, what if we tried an adult daycare? Only open during the day. It's not like it's an overnight thing. It's not a shelter. It's not, it is a adult daycare for people that have disabled adult children to leave them somewhere where they're in good hands, and it's just like any other daycare for little ones, but this is for disabled adults. So, I had asked Johnny a couple of months back when we started talking about this, hey, I'm thinking about trying to move this building in, what do I need? Johnny says permits, because like you said, there is no ordinance on this. So we have already paid to put the pad down, because I thought I only needed a permit to move it.
Where's this going?
At the, where our clothing make is out
Oh,
here.
okay.
So we have already paid to put the pad down, and then
But
Tim
Do you have, sorry to
Go
interrupt,
ahead.
but you said he can't tell you. Do you have drawings to this building? that
yeah,
he can
I
review?
already sent all that stuff in, yes.
And ingress and egress, I think as long as you know the
Brian,
use of the building.
Yeah, you have to have a specific use because.
Correct, because every regulation's different
Everything's
depending on how
different.
many
You know,
people are in it
We were
and what
dealing
it's
with
used
the
for.
restaurant out by Walmart. Obviously, a restaurant doesn't require sprinkler systems unless it has over a certain number of tables.
Correct.
It also doesn't require stamped plans unless it seats, so many people. So every use has different
Correct.
rules, and so we have to know what the use is
Correct.
before.
Well, I'm just going back to her statement of he couldn't do it because he didn't have the,
The other thing that,
Drawings.
I would point out is, typically in the past, we have been able to, we've had some applications in the past for, I believe, like a food truck type metal building in a commercially zoned area. And those didn't ultimately go through because they couldn't meet ADA requirements but also, our facade ordinance was in a place then which didn't allow for the metal structure. Council remembers a few, probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, we did away with that facade ordinance, and we have not replaced it yet, although I do have some drafts in place that I'm gonna bring back, but we're kind of in an interim fuzzy area where,
yeah, but I believe, and this is something we probably should have done when we changed that, is put a moratorium on anything else until we figure that out.
Yeah.
Because it stops a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And, so, I'm not familiar with what you're doing on the property, so the new building that was already built,
So-
what's that for?
That is for a rave program. We, decided that, we have a clothing bank out there, it's an old house, we have needed to replace that house for ages. If any of you have ever been out there, you know.
And what's the program? I couldn't.
The rave, it's our disability program, but we call it rave.
Which is
That's
a
the
close
new
in the
building.
bank.
That is what is the new building, yes.
Okay.
We are moving our clothing bank into our new building.
Is that
We have-
rave in the house now, and then it's just moving to the
Our
new
rave
building?
clients run the clothing bank. It is a workshop for disabled adults to go to work.
Okay.
So we're going to move that into the new building, and then Christy Moff, she's the program director, and her staff are moving out there to it. So it's got offices and a space for the clothing bank. So we have all that property out there. So we laid the pad to,
What are you gonna do with the existing building?
The house.
oh, we're gonna tear that down.
Okay.
So it needs to be torn down. We don't wanna live in it, nothing like that. It's a commercial property, yeah. So we're gonna get rid of it. So anyways, we laid the pad, and then Tim saw the pad and he asked what we were doing, and so Christy told him, and he said, oh, well, have you done this, this, and this? And we went, no, because Johnny had told me all I needed was a permit to move it. Now, not blaming Johnny, no, everything, mistakes happen. So we get into this discussion about what we're doing with the building. And it's a tentative plan, because I can't make any plans without the building. So we can't file an application to do the adult daycare until I have a building. We can't get the building here until I have approval from somebody that I can move it. I can't move forward with anything at this point because we don't have the building here. The building is currently in Kingston, and it is sitting on school property, and they would like us to remove it from their property.
It already belongs to you, correct?
It does, it is our building. And there are some reasons why we can't do anything else with it. So we need to move it to Inca property, and the only space that we own big enough is that land. So we want to move it over there. It has to come in 2 pieces. That was one thing that I think you asked me, is
Yeah.
how I have to cut it in 2 and bring it over here. And we have movers that are ready. We were supposed to move it last week. I mean, that, like I said, we've just been going forward because I didn't think we had to do all this. And then JC kind of held us up. And then finally, I wanted to pull up his last email, because at the end, I was just like, okay, I'm not sure what we're supposed to be doing here. Can I move it or not? And he basically says that we have to get approval from the city. And I even sent Tim an email, and I said, I think this is back in your boat. Can I move it or not?
Well, again, it's, you gotta know what the use is,
And
correct?
so my use is that we are a nonprofit organization, and we are here to serve people. I want to use it to serve. That is my use right now.
And,
That, And that's the
In
only.
what capacity, though? I think you have to be a little more direct about the
Okay.
use of the building
I
other than.
Well, I mean, I think if you're wanting to use it as an adult daycare,
Daycare.
we just need to
Say
say, I'm
adult
gonna use
daycare.
it for an adult daycare.
That's what we said. But what I asked was, if for some reason we do not get the adult daycare, am I required to now move the building? Am I required to do something else? Can I put something else in there? Because right now, it was used as a Head Start center. So it is set up for little ones, little kids. So, I mean, let's say hypothetically, they say, we apply for the adult daycare, they say, no, we don't want that. Okay, can I turn it into a Head Start now? What's my next step?
As long as it is a use that falls under the uses that are itemized in the zoning code for C2 zone properties.
Okay, so then, in my
Which
opinion,
is pretty much anything, cause C2 is the most
I know.
expansive zoning classification that we have.
so,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and I don't know all these codes, but I am using it for services. So that is my use. And at the end, once I have the building here, then I will be able to determine what services specifically I will be able to use it for.
Okay, well, just the other side of the coin, we have a couple of folks here that would like to speak this evening that are adjoining property owners to this. And because of this unknown, I feel like they want to come and get clarification on what. So we have Doug Gabbert here with us this evening. Doug, if you come up and discuss this with us.
I'm really concerned about an adult daycare because I've read through the statutes, and it's not a very far reach to see those kind of things turned into homeless shelters. And that's a nice residential area out where we live and where Inc. has been. It's
I live
always
over
been a fairly good neighbor. But, we have had problems with people walking through our yard. And I'm familiar with a lot of other cities that have had daycares that have suddenly turned into homeless shelters in the same type of situation, and had legal action taken because of the problems. Generally speaking, I don't think that adult daycares or homeless shelters should go in a residential area. I think they're great facilities, and there are a lot of places to put them, but not in a residential area. The other thing that we're concerned about is the fact that I don't know that Inc. got any approval when they built their building, and submitted any plan to the city when they built their building out there, their new one. But I'm aware of the city code, which requires there to be only one principal building, and of course you can have some accessory buildings. But that code, that 12-224, I think, says that those accessory buildings, Johnny can back me up on this if he's got the code there handy. Accessory buildings cannot be in the front or side. They have to be at the back. And with the new building that they put there, there's no way to do that. So any building, for whatever purpose she might want to move out there, is in violation of your city codes. It's 12-224. If she had built the new building in the middle of it, you could have put the buildings behind it. But the way it's been built with the new building on the side, there's no place to put another building that will be in compliance with city codes. And I know the city is very concerned about, how the city looks. We're trying to get industry here and other people to move in, and even the businesses on the highway, you've been very, very strict, and should be, about how those businesses go in. And you've made them comply with the ordinances. And I don't think Inca has a right to get away from that any more than those people do. People who are coming to town and trying to bring industry and jobs. And so for those two reasons, I think that the request that's been made by Inca should be denied.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danny, just for clarification, we did get all of our inspections and approvals for the building that we built.
Yes.
So we were in compliance with that. And
Well,
as
yeah,
of
he's not
He's not
that.
saying.
I just want to make sure that you know that
he's
we
just
did go through the
saying-
process.
he's
We did
just
not do
saying
anything
that
special.
You did that okay, but he's saying you can't put it in front of your new building, it had to be behind, you don't have enough room behind, is what he's saying.
Right.
Because it was turned facing the
Yeah, you
east.
got all JC's
Because-
approval on your new building.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. I just wanna make sure we did all that.
Yes.
correct.
What is the building?
It's a metal building that, it's a commercial metal building. It's not,
And what size is
hold on,
it?
I can send you the.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. What size?
I'm sorry, I should have
20-something,
printed this out, but
40-something?
I didn't realize that we were doing all this, so, forward.
You find it?
Yeah, I have it. Kobe, what's your email?
I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Don't wanna shoot it out.
Yeah, that's right.
It's no big deal. Just whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, it's okay, I can send it over to you. And of course, I just wanna make, one more comment as far as the homeless shelter. Part of our problem with a homeless shelter getting put into this town is that nobody wants it in their area. And that is one of the stances that I've always made, every time somebody brings a homeless shelter up, nobody wants it on their side of town. It needs to go somewhere. Now, we are not planning to put a shelter in there, and that is not the intent of the building. The intent is to help people that are disabled and they need somewhere to go.
But you see though where they're coming from.
I do.
You can change
do.
your mind too.
I know,
Okay.
I do.
Well,
But,
but here's the deal, you know, you may say that, but next week, somebody else may say, with your organization, may say, no, we'd like to do that. And the way the state health department rules are, you have to keep it open at least four hours a day. There's no minimum on, there's no maximum on how long you can run it 24 hours a day. And it's kind of like they do have to have a home they have to go to.
mhm,
But it's kind of like when I send my kid to college, you know, his home is here, but he's actually living there.
mhm.
And it'll be the same way with your day, it could be the same way with your daycare. If you have a daycare, you can transition that very easily into a homeless shelter.
I honestly, that has never even been a discussion, and I did not even know we could possibly do that. But while I do not think also that we could even put a shelter in the building, because for one, it's not big enough. We need, it's not a very big building. It is built for classrooms, for, like I said, these were our 3-year-old kids that were in there. So it's a small building. Yeah, I mean, it's big to me, but it's really a small building for something like that. So, like I said, our intent was never a 24-hour daycare, a shelter, or anything like that. It is truly just to help people that need somewhere to go. Because we do have a lot of disabled adults in our town, and we have parents that are raising them, and they're elderly, and so it would just be nice if we had somewhere for them to go.
Well, as I said,
And-
I have no problem with that concept and that type of facility. My problem is with it being in a residential area. You know, our neighborhood is a neighborhood of a lot of elderly people and a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, no matter what good intentions you may have, you know, we still feel, I still feel like those, and they feel that way. They feel like, you know, their lives are somewhat in jeopardy if that suddenly becomes a 24-hour daycare or 24-hour homeless shelter for people that have severe mental problems.
Could we put something in place that states that we will not make it into a homeless shelter or a 24-hour daycare center? And then would that make everybody feel more comfortable?
Sure you could, but the rules, but the problem is that, okay, this board may want to do that, but what about the next board?
Well, I'll tell you, our code right now would not, under any circumstances, allow
No.
overnight occupancy of that modular home.
That's perfect for me, because that's
It's
not
not a
what we
modular
want.
home.
It's, no,
Well,
but.
It's a
a
modular building.
It's a
It's a
daycare.
modular
And
building.
we do not allow overnight occupancy in modular buildings.
Yes.
So
But-
unless the council was to approve, overnight guests at a modular building, then it would never change in the ordinance.
I still think you have a problem with even getting that building on there. I mean, and I don't know what happened and how you got your everything approved. The approval process is a pretty straightforward one. And I'm not contesting that you had it properly approved. The problem is where you placed it on the property. You placed it on the property on the west side, which means that there's no area on the side. I mean, the only area you could put another building would be on the side or the back. Yeah, the side, that's right, the side or the front. And so, it doesn't matter which building, even if you tore a building down, it doesn't matter which building you tore down, there's no place to put another building on that property according to city ordinances.
Ms. Gabriel, give me,
Because you put the new building on the side.
Ms. Gabriel, give me what, Mr. McDaniel.
I was just wanted to ask Mr. City Attorney, how do you interpret that in with what Mr. Gabbard's saying with the code, with the ordinance?
With regards to the principal building,
Yes,
it depends. It's a good lawyerly answer.
that's what I was figuring you were gonna say.
Okay, because this isn't like a
Listen,
storage
guys,
building that's
you-
going there, it is another
You
business
guys
building.
have heard me repeatedly complain about the complexities and the shortcomings of our city codes. And we took some steps to kind of revamp them, and then we had to fire the firm that was doing that because they weren't doing anything. And so there are so many provisions of the code that just are either not clear or they're conflicting. And for instance, in this one, he is correct that it talks about one principal building per lot with ancillary buildings that should be on the sides or the rear.
Only on the rear, I think.
Yes, and so unfortunately, and number one, that's not ever, to my knowledge, been enforced. But number two, when you look at how the code defines lot, at least in this instance, how it defines lot, there are other definitions of lots throughout the code that are a little different, but this one says a piece or parcel of land occupied or intended to be occupied by a principal building or a group of such buildings. So, you know, those two things kind of conflict there. So, I don't know. That's the answer I'm gonna give you, is I don't know. There's, you know, if you were defining lot in the traditional sense of lot, there is not a single building in town that is on its lot. It's always, you know, the east 60 foot of lot one and the west 60 foot of, you know, of lot two, or something or another. So, you know, I don't know. I can't.
But
give
that would
you
be
an
the
answer on that.
aggregate property owned by one individual company, correct?
Mhm.
So it's still their lot, even though it's multiple parcels.
And when we did the lot split approval process, you know, that was for transfers or conveyances. That ordinance defines lot as a single parcel, contiguous parcel owned by one person or one entity. And I summarized that very poorly, but, so,
Well, you know, most of these modular buildings that you spoke of earlier that were around the town were placed there years and years ago. And the goal was to try to mitigate that as we moved away from placing modular homes throughout the town unless they're in a, say, a mobile home park or modular home park, right? That is,
and that really comes back to the issue here is,
Yes,
what does the
clarity.
council want to do with regards to modular buildings in commercial districts? Because we have heavily regulated them with regards to residential districts, but for whatever reason, when it comes to commercial districts, it's gone untouched for many years.
Well, that's all we have right now, is that right there, right?
And, you know, you have two separate issues that you probably should deal with. You have temporary modular buildings, i.e. construction trailers. I'm sure when Braum starts construction, they'll have a set of construction trailers out there. Are we going to allow temporary modular buildings? And then we have the issue moving forward of permanent modular buildings. You know, the one out at the hospital looks very nice. I mean, they bricked it and complied with the facade ordinance all around, but it's still a modular building. And so to
but that was done even before we had the facade ordinances.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So to what extent does the council want to regulate or not regulate modular buildings? And that needs to come from you guys.
And that's gonna have to be for another day though, and not today.
Well,
Yes, please. State your name, please.
Kathy Gabbard.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sandman, if you'll read those two codes together, it does in fact mention or a group of buildings. But then it says that there's one principal and any other buildings must be behind the principal. That's your group. A lot, in this case, means the front part of Allen Drive, over there where you are. From Charlie Rowland's former house, which is now the clothing bank, all the way to the highway. That's the lot. And the Inca building was built within 20 yards of the west edge of their lot. There's no way that a metal building can fit. The one that I saw in the pictures when I got my open records request answers, there's no way that building can fit behind. As far as permanency is concerned, the mere fact that there's already concrete slab poured for this building makes it permanent. It's gonna stay there. You're not gonna get it moved. It's not gonna be the same thing as the building trailer that's parked in my front driveway right now because I'm having a reconstruction done.
No, we don't plan to move it.
No, it's permanent. And the use has been very ambiguously defined. You said, well, at this time, we think it's gonna be an adult daycare. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, the use is irrelevant because the building does not comply with code, period. That's it. And if the city council has let other things slide by before, now's the time to stop it. Because we want the city to look nice so that we can get more industry in. And that's impossible. If the people that want the city to look nice keep on allowing things like permanent buildings in front of permanent structures, things like temporary buildings or metal buildings in front of permanent structures. I don't have a problem with what you're doing. Matter of fact, I have a suggestion of where it needs to be, and I have someone that you need to talk to. But that's not for this meeting. I don't know if they'd even be interested, but I have an idea for you. Last week, 2 people walked between my bedroom window and the fence next door. I was getting in my car and I said, hey. They were like, just kept on walking. They're walking to your property, because I watched them. I can't build a fence between Allen Drive and my property because the city has a water line there that often bursts. And they have to have it, they have to mend it, they have to repair it, because it loses a lot of water. I understand what you're doing. And I'm really glad to hear that you're tearing down that dilapidated Charlie Rowland house, because that's a mess. But, and I know you've done some other work over there. I've heard people over there with chainsaws late into the evening, and we've stopped and chatted with the guy that you had trimming trees and stuff. It's looking much better. I don't have a problem with your building, with the new structure. I think it looks great. I think you've done a wonderful job. But I definitely take issue with reading the code ambiguously and saying, well, you know, we're gonna go ahead and let it slide because we've let everything else slide. Keep on letting everything else slide, you're gonna have a rat trap of a city.
Well, I don't know that we're letting everything slide.
I know, I understand, but it just feels like,
Okay, because
The
some of
ambiguous
those that were
reading.
mentioned,
well, I'm
like
not gonna
said,
get into an argument over the definition there. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
says a principal building or a group of such buildings and accessory buildings. So I think the only way to define such buildings is a principal building, because then it goes on and adds and accessory buildings. So I don't think group of such buildings would mean accessory buildings, because it would be redundant. So I think when you read it as principal buildings or a group of such principal buildings and accessory buildings, you know, I mean, that's how I read it, but if you put two attorneys in a room, you're gonna get three opinions, so I've always said that.
From a,
100%.
from a judicial standpoint, I think you're wrong.
And I very well, I'm
There you
wrong all
go.
the time, so I very well may be.
So,
And
so the
real
other
quick,
thing
Ms.
is,
Gabbard, I just want to tell you, the reason why I am hesitant to say, yes, that is what we're going to do, is because we don't have our application yet.
I know. you
And we
have to go
just
through
can't put it there until, we can't even put in the application until I have a building. So that's why I said, yes, that is what I think I want to do with it, because we are confident that we will get the application, but we don't have it. So I don't want to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's just going to be great, and then I have to come back and say.
Maybe you can't get it, like, send them the drawings and the operational
No.
protocols and
They have
everything?
to come to inspections and everything, so some of this is gonna have to be a little bit of a.
Can't even get a
leap.
provisional?
No,
to-
we cannot even submit an application until they have something to come.
Okay, so what happens if they say no after you've spent all this money?
Well, that is why I'm hesitant to say, yes, this is what we're gonna do.
But it doesn't work that
because-
way on the city side. When you put a building in, it has a specific use.
No, okay, yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
But the question that I asked was, can I move this modular building into the city on commercial property? And the answer is yes, the code does not say we cannot move it.
but I'm
I
arguing
don't
that
have
the
to
code,
have a reason for the building to be here yet, until it's here.
but I'm arguing that that the city code does say you cannot do that.
And my counter argument would be, the building at the hospital that we're all referencing is in front of the hospital, not behind it.
I understand
So
that, but
the
again.
The perception or the way that we've done it is just like this.
So again, if we keep on doing things the way we've always done it, we're gonna get what we've always gotten. Which is why we have city codes in place and we have zoning inspectors that go out. We have zoning council, zoning hearing officer,
Well, that hospital building's in the county anyway, so that doesn't,
the hospital building, what?
it's in the
Is
county.
that not in city limits? Which,
That new building's out in the county, so it wouldn't apply.
So it doesn't apply there.
Yeah.
but is those structural houses, are those in the county too?
They were annexed.
Maybe that piece, I don't know if the other houses
Yeah,
annexed
they were
in.
annexed, yeah.
Yeah,
They get
they're
city
all
water.
city limits.
But,
Yeah.
but
But the-
I
the
believe when it
hospital
was
is too.
originally, I don't know if it was in there originally, because that, I don't
They
know
were
if it was,
they were in the county.
I think they originally were, but I mean, the hospital buildings that were module, the office, doctor's offices, I don't know if those were in the city limits or not at the time. But
But-
regardless,
Yeah, that didn't-
since all those have been put in, we've tried to take measures to change those things. And it seems counterproductive, even though we don't, I mean, again, moratoriums till we figure this out, something, because this won't be the last time we have this situation. And so,
and I understand where they're coming from, because it's not necessarily, I mean, you're here, but the next Erica Poe, whoever's in that position, it's wide open at that point to what that could become. And I understand from a
Yeah.
residential perspective.
Of course, from what Christy says, that once it's that way, it can't change, that it will stay that way.
Yeah.
So I guess
And
unless we
that's-
shut the daycare down, then that would be the only way that it would change, but.
But even if you shut the daycare down,
Okay.
if you go away, that daycare could become another Charlie Rowland house, another clothing bank that just looks like a disaster. Or it could become a homeless facility.
It can't be a homeless facility, it's already in the ordinance.
that's good, thank you.
Okay, all right.
The concern is, and I can understand the unknown and not knowing, you know, okay, so you're saying it's adult help, right? So they have multiple different types of challenges, correct?
Yes.
Knowing what those protocols are to keep them secured, so, because we don't know if they're manic or whatever that situation may be, because I've had to deal with that at the work where I work. A group brought in someone that had some severe disorders and had an episode inside the business that I work for. And I'm gonna tell you, scared everybody to death that worked inside our building. And it's just one of those things you don't know when, and the people that were helping them it had never happened before. And what triggered it that day, no, don't know.
Nobody said.
And so those are the concerns
Yes.
If you're living around a structure like that, if someone is to, I mean, I didn't know what was coming at me when the door opened. And, you know, if one of the
But-
workers, it gets away from them, I don't, you know, that person gets, I'm
I
not gonna,
understand
I
what
don't wanna
you're
use the
saying.
term loose, I'm just saying if
I
they're,
understand.
if they leave the facility, what happens? Those are the unknowns, and I think their concerns are, that's right next door.
Yes, and we also
So-
have I mean, it's not like going to a bank with somebody. We have trained staff over there.
I understand.
I mean, and we already have adults that work out there at the clothing bank. I mean, you know, that's always been, you know, we've always had that. So,
So.
so is the council saying that I cannot move the building in? Because at this point, the only thing that I believe I need is the approval to move a building in. That should come from Tim.
On the fire marshal. The
Fire
use-
marshal does not have anything to say until the building is here. I cannot get him to approve it or tell me what I need to do. My last email from JC said it is basically up to the city to tell me if I can move this building in. JC has nothing to do with it until there is a structure here.
But let me understand this. You've
Okay.
already poured the concrete. and
It's runners, it's not a slab.
I know, but is it, like you said, it's
We have a
not.
space for it.
Okay, but does it, then the policy says that you can't do that. You can't, I mean, like I said, it has to be on the sides. So what are you gonna do with that?
Johnny interprets the policy different.
Okay.
We'll save that in conversation for another day. The question for you guys is, do you want to allow modular buildings in commercial districts, or do you not? I think is where we're at tonight, so.
So we need to call for the question and move forward with this, correct, Mr. Mayor?
The new building sits right there, and then this, right there's where the poured that.
Okay.
Now, will it be, long ways along Allen, what is that?
You got Highway 3 and 75 and
Oh,
Allen
I'm
Drive.
turned. I'm turned, there I am, okay. So,
Okay, just real quick, Christy texted me and she's listening to our podcast. I told her that tonight we were gonna talk about this, so, she says these people cannot get away. They are severe and won't get outside. They're in wheelchairs, et cetera. We have to redo the inside to meet health department standards. So there is, I mean, that's why I said, JC can tell me how to do all that when it's here, but right now, because it's already a pre-existing, he's just like, well, you might have to do this, you might have to do that. And so, like I said, my last email to him was,
But I think what you're missing, the point is since you haven't told him what the actual
no,
use
that's
and,
what I told him.
let me finish, please. Actual use and occupancy load of the building,
Mhm.
that's what bases most of his criteria off of. Am I wrong in saying that?
Correct.
I'm wrong in saying that?
No, you're correct.
Okay. So he can't give you an answer because he hasn't been told what the use and occupancy load of the building is gonna be. That means he can then tell you, do you need sprinkler system? How many means of ingress and egress out of the building is there?
His last
What kind of
email-
electrical codes do you have to follow? You know, all those different things. He can tell you with a drawing, a floor plan drawing of what you're going to do. Because if you're gonna change this building other than what's interior walls or anything like that,
It's not big changes, it's just.
well, again, any changes that might impede someone from exiting the building, he needs to see a scale drawing of that so that he knows, hey, from point A to B, which is maybe the exits, there is this many interferences, that may cause you to have to put another opening into the building for them to leave that building safely in the event of a fire, so they don't get cut off, okay? Most of these buildings that he's looking at don't exist. I'll give you a prime example, the meat market out here, that did not exist. And he looked at a set of drawings, and that particular building did not require a commercial architectural set of drawings. He was able to either approve or not approve based on the drawings. And once he received the drawings, then he had a list of questions. But here's a building, C2, very specific use of what that building's gonna be, so then that allows him to determine how do you,
That's on a
proceed.
new construction though. This is not a new construct. So his email said, based on what you've identified, a fire sprinkler may be required, a fire alarm system may be required, a hood suspension system may be required. Please let me know what you wish to do. And I said, do I need to decide which one we are going to do right now? And he said, I'm letting you know what may or may not be required once plans are submitted. And I said, okay, so in the
plans.
So
Keyword,
in the meantime,
plans.
can I move it? He says, have you made contact with the city? I said, yes, but we are waiting on your approval. Says, there is nothing for me to do at this time.
Well, the city is not going to approve it to be moved in until we have fire marshal approval plans and it's approved by Mr. Carroll. Because we're not gonna move a building in
Correct.
that may be a nuisance later on down the road. So that's the whole point that I've had in the past. We need to know what it's gonna be used for, we need to see the
Yes.
plans, so we can make sure that at least that intended use is going to qualify. I recognize you may not get state approval, but we at least need to go through that process. But I think that is all ancillary to the underlying question before the council tonight, and that is, are you going to allow modular buildings on commercially zoned properties moving forward? And if so,
The question is more specific.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you going
I-
to allow modular buildings in front of or beside a permanent structure moving forward?
Contrary to your ordinance.
Contrary
Well, the
to-
other aspect of this is modular buildings, what does that do to property values? That was the discussion we had when we mitigated the small metal homes that were trying to be approved, to be next to very small metal homes that were gonna be next to potentially nicer homes. What does that do to the adjacent value if they're not like value type structures? I mean, there's a gamut of concerns that I have. And it's not to be disruptive to what you're trying to do, Ms. Bo. It's not. This is conversations that we've had over multiple years trying to figure out the direction to move forward, and it's been a challenge.
and
And it is.
And this
because-
question-
inconsistent with where
Yes.
you have
Yeah.
been heading in the past.
Yeah.
Correct.
And this question's kind of, I mean, this statement's kind of general anyway to me. I mean, we've got that, we need to decide what we want to do with that first,
We probably should clean that up a little bit.
I mean, I don't even know why we need to decide anything until that's cleaned up. That's just me. I don't know.
Well, in the meantime, till we figure that out, what is the action to put a moratorium on anything until we get that language?
We can absolutely do that tonight if that's what you want to do.
And then figure out what that's gonna look like, what those regs are gonna be, if in fact they do. Because we're gonna continue, and it's the same thing, and I hate the fact that the individual that we were having help us with this issue didn't follow through with, because that was something I was really looking forward to getting these misquoted and cumbersome languaged ordinances out of there, so it's, I mean, I know, like you said, you put two attorneys in a room, you get 4 opinions, but it's still trying to mitigate some of the issues that we have with our current
Well,
code book.
These were written in, I believe, the sixties or seventies.
Now, there's been some modifications, but the problem is, are they duplicating? Were they duplicated over the top of some of the others, and were the others removed? I don't think the others were ever removed out of the code, so you got these conflicting codes to deal with. I see it a lot in state statute language. Something that was passed in the 50s or 60s doesn't get cleaned up in today's time, so you have this ambiguity between, it's almost like attorneys wrote them. I don't know, I'm not,
An attorney did write
yeah,
your code.
so.
We know who that.
Yeah, so those are the things that that we've worked on, and, this won't be the last time we have this conversation. And where's it gonna be? What's it gonna look like? That's, to me, where we need to straighten this up, figure this out. So, I would make a motion to put a moratorium on any more temporary, permanent or temporary modular buildings until we have a chance to review and update our code book.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Ms. Pogue,
Since I have an invested interest in this, I will abstain.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy,
Yes. Okay. Moving on down, is there any council comments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. All right, let's move into our next meeting of the evening, the Atoka Municipal Authority. Would you call roll, please?
Ms. Pogue,
Here.
Mr. Sherrill,
Here.
Mr. McDaniel,
Here.
Ms. McGee,
Here.
Mr. Kathy.
Here. Okay, this is public comment time. If anything is not on the posted agenda, you may address the board at this time. Hearing none, move down to the consent agenda. We have a couple of items on here this evening. The approval of the minutes from November 17th, 25, and approving authorized representatives, myself, Danny Delay, Gene Dotson, Susan Bates, authorized persons to execute requisitions for loan funds on behalf of the Atoka Municipal Authority for the Oklahoma Water Resources Board. Do any of these items need to be removed from the consent agenda down to the business agenda for further consideration? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. All right, as we move down, is there any trustee comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel, Ms. Pogue, Mr. Kathy.
Yes. All right, as we move into our next meeting of the evening, the Atoka City Industrial Development Authority, would the clerk call roll, please?
Mr. McDaniel,
Here.
Ms. McGee,
Here.
Mr. Sherrill,
Here.
Ms. Pogue,
Yeah, here.
Mr. Kathy.
Here. Again, this is public comment time. This is anything that is not on the posted agenda. You may address the board at this time. Hearing none, we'll move down to the consent agenda. That is approval of the minutes of November 17th, 25, and approving the Economic Development Director's report. Do either one of these items need to be moved to the business agenda for individual consideration? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. All right, as we move down, there's an executive session this evening, and Johnny likes to get wordy with those little rascals, so here we go. An executive session is authorized by Title 25 State Statute, Section 307C11. All nonprofits, foundations, boards, bureaus, commissions, agency, trusteeships, authorities, councils, committees, public trust, task force, or study groups supported in whole or part by public funds or entrusted with the expenditure of public funds for the purpose of conferring on matters pertaining to economic development, including a transfer of property, financing, or creation of a proposal to entice a business to locate within their jurisdiction if public disclosure of the matter discussed would interfere with the development of products or services, or if the public disclosure would violate the confidentiality of the business specifically, and update to the Atoka City Industrial Development Authority Board on economic development projects, including but not limited to hotel projects, industrial projects, and for possible real estate transactions that cannot publicly be disclosed due to the confidential nature of the business relocation. With all that said, do I hear a motion to enter into executive session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. this time, do I hear a motion to enter back into open session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second, roll call, please.
Sorry, I didn't catch the,
Second.
Motion.
James was the motion.
Yeah, me, I approved it.
Motion second.
Open session.
Okay.
sorry, just a second.
You're good.
Okay. Mr. McDaniel,
Is- What's appropriate? Aye, yes?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes.
I almost said aye.
I could tell you were
I
studying
know, I was
really
like,
hard.
hey,
Either one
You gave
works.
us a whole
Either
new
one
one. You
works.
gave us a whole new one.
I've never done executive session.
All right, on return from executive session, item number one, acknowledgement of minutes of executive session. Minutes were taken. Item number two, discussion and/or action on approving or rejecting the lease agreement with option to purchase on property located in the city airport, next to the city airport, between ACETA and RRP Investments LLC. Do I hear a motion at this time?
Were you gonna add the, authorizing the city manager and attorney to make changes as possible, too?
If that's what
with
you-
that?
You're gonna make a motion to approve a lease agreement
Okay.
between ACETA and RRP Investments with, the monthly rent amount of $2,500, the term of 5 years, with an option to purchase for $150,000 to be exercised at any time. All the rent amount applies to the purchase price. Any ancillary terms, you're authorizing the city, the ACETA director to negotiate any ancillary terms.
I recommend approving.
That's your motion.
That's your motion.
Oh, well, you read it.
Yep.
So we got a motion on the floor.
I'll second what she said.
Yeah, there you go. I have a motion. You have a motion. Kobe made the motion, correct?
Nope.
No.
No, she made the motion, Kobe
I
seconded.
seconded
it.
Okay. Now that that's clear as mud.
Mr. Sherrill,
Motion is second.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. All right, is there any trustee comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Sherrill, Ms. Pogue,
Yes.
Mr. Kathy.
Yes. We are adjourned for the evening. Thank you all